Okay, so we are given a problem named as merge two sorted list, and we are giving two linked list, which is in sorted manner, and we are supposed to return a linked list that will be the combined form of these two lists, and which is also should be in a sorted manner too. So what we can do here is we can simply create two nodes, means we are creating a temp node and a current node. So if I'm creating a current node like list node and current node equals to new list node, and I'll be requiring some node that will point to current node head. So we are just declaring list node head equals to current node. So what we are doing here is we are just pointing the current node by head, so that after inserting all the elements in current node we will be having some reference to iterate the current node. So if I'm using like while loop, if L1 is not equals to null and and L2 is not equals to null, we'll be iterating L1 and L2. So what we are doing here is, if we are just taking L1 as a smaller linked list and L2 as a greater linked list. So we are just putting some conditions like if L1 is less than L2, L1 dot value means dot val is less than L2 dot val, then we will be storing this in current node. So current node of next equals to L1 and L1 equals to L1 dot next. And similarly, we will be putting in L2. So current node dot next equals to L2 and L2 dot next. And we also require current node to be extended, current dot next. So simply what we are doing here is, if L1 dot value is smaller than L2 dot value, and we are taking L1 as shorter form, shorter linked list, means the value of L1 is lesser than the L2 value. So current node dot next equal to L1 and L1 equals to L1 dot next, means we are just iterating over the L1 linked list. And in the second condition, if L2 dot value is lesser than L1 dot value, then we are putting L2 in current node dot next, and L2 will be gone for the L2 dot next. And simply we are iterating over the current node, means current node equals to current dot next, so that the another element can be stored in the current node. So here we are, and if I want to return something, then I'll be returning the head dot next. Let me explain to you. I'm just running it. Let me run it. Okay, so there is some error. So cannot find current dot next. Okay, we forget to put node here. Okay, so it should run now. So here we are. The output is 11234, but there is 14 is not there, because we also require to put condition if L1 is not equals to null. and we are imagining that L2 has finished, means L2 got the null value, but L1 is not finished yet. So we just put the elements in current node without any comparison, means uh, current node dot next equals to L1, and L1 equals to L1 dot next. And same thing we will do for L2. L2 is not equals to null, and we are imagining that L1 has finished. So current node dot next equals to L2, and L2 equals to L2 dot next. Okay, so uh, we just putting the condition here that if L2, I'm talking about the third line, we are imagining that L2 has finished, but L1 is not finished yet. So we are just putting L1 elements into the current node, and we are iterating over the L1 linked list. And we are doing the same thing for the L2, that L2 is not finished yet, but L1 has finished. So we are putting the L2 elements in the current node, but we are iterating over the L2 and L1. We are not conscious about the L1 linked list now. So we are just ignoring the comparison condition here, as we were doing here. If L1 is less than L2 or L2 is greater is less than L1, and we are returning the head dot next. What it means, if I just write it here as head, not head dot next. So what we get the output here is, so the output is 0 1 1 1 2 3 4 4. We are getting extra element, that is 0, because we are required to return the head dot next, not head, because if we are returning the head, it will take the another element, that is the value of head, and we don't want to iterate over the head value, we just want to iterate over the current value. We are required to just return the current node, not the head value. So we just returning the address of the head dot next. That means we are pointing to the current node, not the next, not the head value. So if I run it, what we get here, we are not getting any extra value, we are just getting the values that we having the in input itself. And if I submit it, it should be submitted. Okay, so we got the accepted solution. Okay, that's all.